Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness, why is the music so crazy? Hello everyone, welcome to Starfire VS Blaze. I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird not saying Death Battle in there. I'm not gonna lie, I am very excited for this because, like I just said, this is not Death Battle. Who knows what's going to happen? Also, by the way, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long one. So I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm probably gonna be, kind of quiet, which I hope you guys don't mind entirely. But to be honest, you guys probably skip to the end. You know what? Why not? Random post. Do you guys actually watch the whole video, or do you skip to the, fight? Either way, I don't mind. But anyway, I don't know basically anything about Blaze. Starfire, I don't remember that much about Teen Titans, so I'm basically going into this completely blind. Here we go!
Blaze the Cat, Princess of the Soul Empire, Protector of
Funny enough, the
Dimensions,
only thing I
and
know about
Guardian
Blaze is
of
that
the
she's a
Soul
cat.
Emeralds.
That's literally it.
Starfire, Princess of
Oh
Tamaran,
right, and she also has
liberator
fire.
of slaves and heart of the Teen
I think.
Titans.
While most princesses bear the mantle of demure politicians, some passionate sorts like to take a more hands-on approach in defending their realms.
Like these two purple-friendly neighborhood. Wait, they're from another planet. Fiery
Spider-Man!
heroines.
Now, there are some fair questions as to what we are taking
Wait, is there
as canon in this. For
is there a death
Starfire,
battle
we are
about
considering
Spider-Man?
the main comics, aka Starfire Prime, as our primary source.
But if there are some things in supplemental material, such as in Elseworlds, cartoons, or video games that don't flat out contradict the main series, we're including
Wait, Teen
them.
Titans
As
had a
for
video game?
Blaze, as she's originally a video game character, we'll be taking her game
Well then,
appearances
good to
as
know.
our primary. But as long as there aren't any contradictions, we're also
Yeah, this is the
including
only
side
game
games
I played
like
with her
the
in
Deadpool
it.
comics and some snippets from Bumblecast as supplements.
So, no, we are not using the Archie Blaze here. Long story short, it actually makes the fight less interesting. He's
Oh
Josh
yeah,
and
what
I'm
is
Arma.
Archie?
And we're here
Apparently
to
it's like,
analyze
that's
their
the
powers,
manga, or
abilities,
whatever
and
it is,
stats
that
to
apparently
find out who
every
would
single
win
Sonic character is like
battle
OP.
to the death.
That's literally all
Really?
I know.
Hey, it's legally distinct.
Alright, almost forgot to mention.
Beyond
I
the
am very sorry if
stars
there's
is
any
an
points
alien
where
planet
I'm a
of
little bit too
humanoids,
low,
born
or
with
if they're a little bit too
incredible
loud.
strength and the inherent
I'll be honest with
ability
you,
to absorb energy emitted
I have
from the
no idea
sun
what's going
and
on, but for
soar
some
through
reason
the
I just
skies
cannot
of
get the
their
perfect setting,
from
so
this world.
hopefully this is good for you guys.
Powerful and pure of heart would arrive on our own planet, always holding back their immense strength for fear of hurting the innocent. Eventually, they would become a shining beacon of hope for the people of Earth. That's right. We're talking about
Princess Coriander of Tamaran. Cori, hey, that's our dog's name, was the second
Aw.
child of 3 siblings of
Doggo.
Tamaran's royal family. Oh, middle child syndrome. In royalty, no less. That historically turns out really well.
And here it's just as messy. Her elder sister, Commander, seemed ready to become queen. Before she could, a childhood illness crippled her and she lost her birthright. Commander did not take this well. She
Is that
attempted
clever?
and failed
No!
to kill Cori,
Sorry.
resulting in her own banishment.
Did she
But still
learn her
though, rest in
lesson?
peace.
Well, no. Commander allied herself with the Citadel, a ruthless slaver empire that invaded most of their local star system. With her new allies, Space Scar here easily conquered Tamaran. But to ensure peace and the safety of his people, the king, her father, sold off his own baby girl to the Citadel as a slave. Dude, not cool.
Well done.
Best dad judges you.
Well, in the king's feeble defense, it was either that or have all his people be taken prisoner. Plus, he likely didn't know what they'd actually do to Cori, as she was tortured and, especially abused by Commander and the Citadel
something
for
tells me
6
I
years,
do not want to know what
until
that is.
both sisters were kidnapped and experimented on by the
Are we sure
sadistic
this is child friendly?
species known
Well, to be
as
honest,
the
there is people dying in these
Cylons.
comics,
They used both
so
sisters as
not
guinea
really.
pigs for their experiments to see how much energy a Tamaranian can absorb before exploding into a pile of alien guts. This particular set of experiments went on for 10 years. Suddenly feeling like hugging my babies right now. 1 minute.
In an ironic twist,
I'm not gonna lie,
the
this, like-
Citadel invaded to free
This makes me
Commander,
feel
and
weird.
During the ensuing chaos,
Starfire-
Coriander was granted strange
What is her
powers, which she
backstory? What the
promptly
heck?
used to free herself and flee to the stars. Soon she arrived on planet Earth, where she had a fateful encounter with the former sidekick of Batman, Robin. After that got sorted, she would find safety and camaraderie with other heroes like Raven, Beast Boy, and Cyborg. These weirdos and goofballs became her family away from home, and she decided to protect Earth under the alias Starfire. Ari, that's your cue.
I was getting baby huggies. Leave me alone.
You're lying.
The alien Starfire. You know, that's just the English translation of her name, right? Though wouldn't it have been
Wait, is
funny
that
if her
Meta Knight's
superhero
sword?
name was just the Spice Coriander? I mean,
Whoa.
she is kind of spicy.
Line.
Anyways, over time and with a few adventures under their utility belts, these young underdogs would become known as the Teen Titans. Starfire proved to be an incredible asset to the Titans thanks to her alien physiology. Tamaranians are descended from a feline race. Yeah, really, what are the odds? And they're super strong, super fast, super durable.
I need to watch the
and
B
can fly
movie
through the
again.
air.
That movie's literally a
With
fever
psionic
dream.
experiments, she can fire beams of solar energy.
These solar rays are her star bolts. The only good thing to come from those horrific experiments. They can burn as hot as a star and even affect intangible beings. Over time, she learned to expel them from her body in dozens of creative ways, though she seems to favor the simple approaches of firing them through her eyes and from her hands.
She can shape them to use as energy shields, implode them to
You know, I
suck
just
in
realized I never
nearby
questioned the
energy,
fact that
or
she can
even
actually do
focus
that.
all the energy she has into
Laser
a
eyes.
directional supernova, which can instantly vaporize people arguably more powerful than she is. However, it's incredibly draining to use, so it's a bit of a desperation move. Starfire is
I thought that said
hot,
Starbucks.
figuratively and
No, this
very
says Starburst.
literally, as the flames that burst from her literal metal-melting body can survive in the vacuum of space and last from planet to planet.
Similar to Kryptonians, Tamaranians can absorb energy,
My goodness, he looks terrifying.
specifically ultraviolet radiation, which is nice because our sun gives off plenty of that. Usually after just a few hours of sunbathing, she's in good shape for a few days. While Starfire can absorb other types of energy or radiation to fuel her own abilities,
You know, I wonder how many
such as
humans,
solar or
sorry,
electromagnetic,
heroes and
if it's
villains
too
use the
foreign
sun
to
as their,
what
like,
she's used
energy.
to, then it could exhaust
Because I'm
her
not gonna lie, it does a
or
lot.
put her into a coma.
That said, she adapts to it pretty quickly once she wakes up. She also has some other powers that seem kind of left field, like astral projection, mental
yes,
resistance,
drinking.
or learning any language by lip contact. That must have made Robin feel so special when we found that out, huh?
Even
I
without
need to
her
watch Teen
powers,
Titans Go
she's
again.
decked in both
Not
hand-to-hand
the drama.
combat and swordsmanship due to her Tamaranian
Poor
and
Robin.
Okaran training, as well as sparring with members of the Justice League. She's beaten
Oh,
Wonder
wait, they
Girl
actually
a few
fought?
times, and an already incredibly skilled swordsman couldn't track her. So he ended up losing his hands.
Ooh. After some time, Star proved herself to be a decent leader of the Titans. And why wouldn't she?
Wait a
She's
minute.
clearly the glue that holds
I did
them
not pay
together,
attention.
as every time she
How
leaves,
tall is she?
every
I'm not gonna lie,
single
Robin kind of looks short.
time, the Teen Titans
Unless,
fall
was that even a
apart.
Robin?
Wreckmas,
Who knows?
Indeed.
Yeah, Starfire often comes across as a naive airhead, but pretty much all her faux pas are caused by simple culture shock. In fact, Star is deceptively clever and has quite a few tactical successes under her belt, even though she's clearly more comfortable deferring to more experienced people's plans rather than making up her own.
Sure, most initiative Corey takes usually boils down to hit it really hard, but when you're tanky enough to survive a blast from Sinar and powerful enough to blast through a ship built to survive supernovas, do you need to be strategic all that often?
She also crashed through a skeletal Trigon skull. Keep in mind, a being with a tenth of his power is easily capable of destroying a universe. She's fought at the level of other DC heavy hitters like Firestorm, several Lantern Corps members, Manhunters, and even held her own against Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the same Wonder Woman that helped.
I really do need to read more comics. I only knew Wonder Woman. Out of all those characters, Wonder Woman,
God of War Ares, and the
you
same
know what I
Wonder
mean,
Woman who
is the only person I
reflected
knew.
every piece of the Shattered God flying across the DC universe.
At minimum, the DC universe is 100 trillion light years across, but more recent calculations put that number at 56.77 nonillion. At the low end, that puts Wonder Woman's speed at 56 quintillion times faster than light. At the high end, well, that puts her at, give or take, 1.5 undecillion times the speed of light.
So yes, Starfire briefly held her own against
Huh.
that Wonder Woman. Twice. Okay, yes, Diana wasn't going all out in their scuffle, so Star's probably not that fast. Especially considering it consistently takes her some time to fly back 26 light years to Tamaran's cosmic neighborhood. But hey, Star can still tag people like Jessie Quick. Sure, she's a lower tier speedster, but she's a lower tier DC speedster. Context matters.
Starfire can survive the equivalent
You know,
of
I
a
wonder,
Chernobyl meltdown
what
in
would
her
happen if the
face,
Teen Titans ended up
even
in Marvel?
survive a cosmic
Would
storm
anything
that was
change?
moving
Or would
the
they, like, you know,
trillions of
die?
light-year-sized DC universe off balance
I don't know.
and
I feel like the
threatening
Teen Titans would do
an
pretty good in the Marvel
unprecedented
universe.
warping in the space-time continuum.
Starfire got knocked around a bit, but she was mostly fine. You can see why it's no surprise that she's often referred to as the strongest Titan. I know Josh was joking at the start, but it really feels like she's the closest we've gotten to a true female Superman, in personality and in powers.
Make no mistake, Starfire's capable of godlike feats. Wow,
That's
that
amazing.
is really on the nose. But unfortunately,
I don't
that
know why. I always
power
love it when
is
they do, like, little
often
gags like that.
turned against her. Plus, Corey's caring heart causes her to both bullheadedly charge into danger and hold back her power. often making her a liability in a team fight. Clever foes can and do take advantage of this, and as a result, she's lost many of her battles. And that's not getting into some of her less appealing outings.
Josh, what in the anatomically borked Liefeld did they do to my baby?
Unfortunately, writing Corey has proven challenging.
Did I
as
miss
she has
something?
many traits that are difficult to balance. Many writers have succeeded, but others often lean too heavily on one or the other, leading to
What the heck is that?
flanderization, such as New 52.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched Teen Titans Go a decent
Out of
amount.
my house.
I do not remember that
Not
episode.
in this studio, Satan!
Hey, I actually had to watch it. You know how many episodes of that there are?
So many butts. Most importantly, Starfire's power has a lot of
My goodness, Teen Titans Go is
caveats.
actually the
For one, while she
definition
can
of a
fly
fever dream.
Much faster than light. Doing that leaves her so fatigued she'll pass out for
I haven't
days
watched it in
or
like
even
years, but I'm not
weeks.
gonna lie, it was
Second, without a
decent when it
consistent
first
source
came
of
out.
ultraviolet light, she risks quickly burning through all her stored energy. And thirdly, her powers are connected to her emotional state. If she feels driving emotions like joy or righteous fury, her powers often get stronger, even entering a berserker state of extreme strength and nigh invulnerability, allowing her to briefly surpass Donna Troy and Mon-El combined. If she were to feel stifling emotions like despair, fear, confusion, or even feel nothing, her powers greatly weaken.
But that's not really a huge deal, as it's only gotten that bad, never, I think. In fact, her cheerfulness is so indomitable that she achieved the power of a blue lantern, the Lantern Core of Hope. Remember, lantern rings can
She's a
create
blue
light-based
lantern?
constructs from anything in the wielder's imagination. Heck, one time John
Okay,
Stewart
then.
created a whole solar system with his. Speaking of, whenever a blue
That
lantern
actually
is
makes her
around a
very
green
OP.
lantern, it unlocks literally the
Well, I
most
guess it isn't the
power
White
in the
Lantern, but I'm pretty sure
Core
just being a
emotional
lantern in
spectrum.
general is
And yeah,
pretty
Starfire
big.
had access to one of those. Until Hal Jordan confiscated the ring, that jerk.
What? Why?
Well, he felt she was too young.
That doesn't sound right. Let me see that. Ari, this is a comic for kindergartners.
And it's canon, it's still Starfire, and that other legally distinct show has taken from weirder sources.
Ari.
No, you're giving me this. It makes perfect sense. Her own flesh and blood sold her into torture and has tried to kill her on multiple occasions. Even her best friend tried to kill her on her wedding day, and she's still a bright ray of sunshine.
Well, that
On
doesn't
her wedding day?
necessarily mean that.
My goodness.
Corey has every reason to hate the world, heck, even to destroy it. You're telling me she's not worthy of being a Blue Lantern when she can look at a heartless bigot who views her as less than nothing and would rather die than be saved by her and still say,
You may not value my life, but I still value yours.
Yeah, Hal did her dirty.
exactly. Checkmate, bitch.
After taking back her home planet,
Oh my goodness, I'm
joining
sorry, I
the
feel kinda
Justice
bad,
League,
but
and also raising
my
a
man
family
Green
of her
Lantern was
own,
getting beaten up.
Starfire would be recognized as a burning glory for those in need. When you see a woman in the sky with hair of burning flame, no evil will fall behind her might and her smile.
I'm not gonna lie, I need that burger.
Looking to add a
Okay,
little
anyway.
flair to your tabletop adventures? Check out the
Ed!
complete White
Ed!
Handbook by the Pathfinder
Whoa!
First Edition. Multiverse
Not in front of the children.
posits that we
My
are
goodness.
all living in just one variation of countless universes, full of alternate versions of each and every one. In some, I could be a
Oh,
famous
Blaze.
football player, or
Hey,
I don't
Gravity
know,
Falls.
could like Teen Titans Go.
Horrifying. But in the world of Sonic lies an alternate dimension of our favorite blue hedgehog, the Soul Dimension. It's not that much different. I mean, it even has its own version of the Egghead. Biggest difference is that in this version, Sonic is a
It
purple
sucks that I
cat
can't say
girl
his name.
princess. Yeah, it's weird,
Because,
but there's
you know.
two. If I had a nickel for
This is Blaze, a descendant of a royal family who have protected their sacred treasure, the jeweled scepter, for
Are those
generations.
koalas?
From birth, Blaze is gifted power over fire, so she can eventually become the guardian of the jeweled scepter,
I
as
mean,
well
hey,
as the Soul Emerald.
she has
a
fire,
dimensional counterpart
but she is
to the
3-1.
Chaos Emeralds.
Good to know.
Too bad she just
She's
couldn't actually
14.
control her powers, at all. And it kind of
My
made
goodness,
any
she's young.
potential friends shun her.
I thought
just
she was
because
like 20 or
didn't
something.
automatically know how to control flames that literally shoot out of her soul. Kids bully each other for the dumbest reasons. Like, can you do it? I don't think so.
Because of that, Blaze would come to see her powers only as a curse. Coupled with the political duties of princesshood, rife with people lying to her every day, she grew up lonely, mistrustful, and bitter. But everything changed when Eggman
the
came
president.
to her dimension and stole the soul.
Basically, that's what
Thanks
she
to
has.
her connection to said emeralds, Blaze was able to follow him. She knew what she had to do, retrieve the emeralds she was sworn to protect, and return home.
Unfortunately, a lifetime of isolation and independence made her butt heads with everyone who could possibly help her, like Knuckles, who she chumped and left buried under a pile of rocks. After learning what it truly means to have friends from Cream, of all people,
Oh,
not
right,
Twilight
Cream.
Sparkle,
I'm not
and
gonna lie,
the
kind of
Blue
forget about
Girl
her.
himself knocking a little sense into her, she learned that sometimes it's
My little pony
okay
follows
to
me
trust
everywhere.
others with the fate of the world.
I saw
After
Twilight
Rush,
Sparkle and my
Blaze
brain was like,
returned to her
oh,
home dimension and would find herself
they're
encountering
back.
Sonic on
The
many more
ponies.
occasions, more villains, making new friends,
Pirate
and becoming a
Eggman.
recurring member of the cast.
Wait a
She
minute, I gotta
even
play that
became
game.
a part of Team Rose.
Ah, replacing the other purple cat. Good call.
Blaze is an Olympic-level
He's secretly the purple guy.
acrobat with
No,
uncanny
imagine.
spatial awareness.
FNAF
Over time, she's
crossover
learned
with
to master
Sonic. That'd be
her
the craziest thing
pyrokinetic
ever.
abilities and use them in conjunction with her physical skills.
She's got all kinds of moves, but most often Blaze uses her flames and ballet-like acrobatics to spin like a fiery Tasmanian devil. She can propel herself with bursts, fly through the air, dash fast enough to create after images, shoot fireballs, and I think she teleported there. Jury's out on that one. Ian Flynn won't return my calls.
This deep connection with flames not only allows her to erase less
Oh yeah, isn't she like
fire,
best
but
friends with
allows
like
her to
Silver?
seal within her the entity
Again, I
known
don't
as
know.
Iblis, the
But I see a
raw
lot of them,
power
like, being
the
together.
multiversal threat Solaris. This demon burned the entire planet and left it in a state of ruin for 200 years.
Hang on, if she's just from another dimension, how did Blaze manage to be in Silver's apocalyptic far future? Or be a descendant of a well-known historical figure in Mobian history?
Well, several sources
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very
Blaze
interested in that
actually
game.
originates from the future,
For some reason,
but
everyone's like,
something
nice.
happens after or during the events of Sonic 06. That something causes Blaze to be reincarnated as the Soul Dimension's princess 200 years before Silver's time. We just don't have confirmation of what that something is yet.
And if Solaris got erased from time,
Okay.
is Iblis still in her soul or not? Oh, I
Hey,
do not envy the
Bob-omb.
rider who has to
I'm not
untangle
gonna lie,
this
every time we see
timey-wimey
this, I'm just like
knot.
looking at all the
Ugh.
details.
Anyways, like Sonic, Blaze has access to several different power-ups, such as shields, mind-affecting items like stun or confusion. She also has ring time, which can transform enemies into rings, and when she was teleported to Eggman's amusement park, she had
Ah, I
access
see.
to 3 specific wisps.
The cyan
You know,
laser
nobody
grants
ever
an
talks
enormous
about how
speed boost,
terrifying it
whips
is.
through enemies
If
like
somebody
paper,
touches you,
the
you
yellow
turn into a
drill
coin.
can easily move underground,
Nobody
making it
thinks
great
about
for
this.
surprise attacks, and the Indigo asteroid reduces everything into rubble within its vicinity.
But even without power-ups, she's managed to keep up with Sonic, who, need we point out, has some insane feats under his
Oh.
belt. Sonic can escape whole dimensions just by running, or defeat villains like Infinite, who can create dimensions that go on infinitely
I still wish it did more with
in
Infinite.
base form. But one of the biggest would come from Sonic's friends, as they reacted to Solaris' fusion, which conjured a light that consumed the universe in 23 seconds. At minimum, that's 120 quadrillion times faster than light, and that's not even accounting for
Can
the
I be
fact
honest
that
with you? Every time I
Solaris
hear those numbers, I'm
exists
just
in
like,
all time,
oh yeah,
past,
that must be
present,
big.
and future.
And
I
considering
paid
Blaze
attention in
was
science
catching
class,
Knuckles
but
off
I
guard and
promise
fought
you, I have
Sonic to
no
a
idea.
stalemate, Blaze can keep up with all of that. And even before Sonic met Blaze, he'd fought Emerald, who absorbed enough chaos energy to power the final Egg Blaster. That sucker destroyed a whole constellation.
Considering the distance and gravitational binding of each star, that's worth at least 465 exapo, or 465 quintillion.
Okay, that's a new word. I don't remember ever hearing that one.
supernovas. That kind of power can blow up galaxies.
Yeah, I'll be honest with
or
you.
even the entire
This video is kinda just
universe.
you
And her
learn about
greatest
me not knowing
power
anything
lies
about,
within
like,
the gems
big
Shiv is
numbers.
destined to protect, the Soul Emeralds. These
Is that so?
debatably sentient jewels are often compared to the Chaos Emeralds, and have similar capacities of unlocking unlimited power.
Basically, they're like Chaos Emeralds, but fiery, and shaped like actual cut emeralds, and tied more to order than chaos, and can warn about upcoming cataclysms. And if you don't know what you're doing with them, they explode in your face. Okay, there's actually quite a few
Oh.
differences, but the overall power level is the same in the ways that actually matter. They also grant Blaze her most powerful transformation, Super Blaze!
Actually, it's Burning Blaze.
Does it matter? It does exactly what Super
I mean, I'll be
Sonic
honest
does
with you, it
for
sounds kinda
Sonic. It
cooler.
increases their strength, speed,
Burning
and
Blaze.
durability to absurd amounts.
Burning Blaze shot a jet of flame that instantly vaporized a large ship of the Egg Fleet.
What in the
Given
Gallic gun?
vapor point of basic steel, that
Sorry, I
fire
watched
would
too much
have to be
Dragon
at
Ball.
least 3 to
I see anything
6,000
remotely
degrees
looking like a
Celsius
Dragon Ball
with an
move, I'm like,
explosive
wait a
pressure
minute.
of at least 100,000 psi.
For context, that's a fire blast as hot as a red dwarf star delivered with the force of a nuke. And that's the minimum, considering many ships of the fleet can withstand multiple attacks from the multi-solar system power of base Sonic. So this flame was likely hotter than a blue sun with a zetapho of power behind it. She can also smash through meteors moving at Josh, how fast is she going here?
Well, considering this is happening in a wildly fluctuating dimensional rift where neither time nor space functions properly, as Burning Blaze, her speed is technically immeasurable.
Of
Huh?
course it is. While in the Exception Rift, Supersonic and Burning Blaze fought the Egg Salamander, which had already drained the Chaos and Soul Emerald's energies to power it. The two Eggmans planned to use their powers to collapse and merge Sonic's and Blaze dimensions to form a dream Eggman land that transcends dimensions. Given how smart the guys are, I believe them, especially since those two did the impossible and managed to unleash an attack that actually bypassed Superform invincibility.
And that's not even the craziest part. Before this, Blaze had given up all hope of victory since the Soul Emeralds had been drained of their power. Sonic, who's definitely had this sort of thing happen before, then makes her realize that the Soul Emerald's power
Oh,
comes
of course,
from
the power of
special
friendship.
bonds, thus
It always
completely
comes down to the
recharging
power of
Soul
friendship.
Emeralds.
Wait. Are you saying that the power of friendship restored the multiversal strength of the Soul Emeralds? Those ponies really are onto something. Seriously, when did this turn into MLP?
I'm telling
And
you,
it tracks
My Little
as
Pony
Sonic,
follows us
Shadow,
everywhere.
and Silver
It's
Superform
always
fight
back to
against
friendship.
Solaris, a superdimensional life form that would consume
Oh
all
my
existing
goodness.
timelines of all dimensions.
Sonic's Superform could also fight the Time Eater, which nearly erased all of time and space of their franchise's cosmology. And even then, all that pales in comparison to defeating the End, which referred to itself as infinite compared to Sonic's past adversaries, as well as calling Supersonic something that transcends law and time. And considering Blaze fought Sonic on even grounds, and the Soul Emeralds are comparable to the Chaos Emeralds, she has access to all that power.
Well, most
Am I
of it,
coping when I
anyway.
say
The Soul
Shadow is gonna
Emeralds
get a
don't seem
Sonic
to have their
Generation game?
versions of common
Sorry,
chaos
Frontiers.
abilities, or if they do, Blaze
I don't
hasn't
know, I feel
used
like they're
them
hinting
yet.
to it.
That's kind of weird. We've seen Chaos Control with the Chaos Emeralds and Chronos Control using a Time Stone. Shouldn't there be like a Soul Control?
Theoretically, yes, but
Oh my
either
goodness, not
Blaze
the
doesn't know that the
not the
technique
nerd back
exists,
man.
or it doesn't exist at all because it
I'm
hasn't
still
been
mad that
shown
Netflix
yet.
took that out.
Really? That sort of idea just
No joke, I was
lends
actually planning
itself
on watching that
instant
tonight.
Jump on that.
Agreed, but as it stands, the Soul Dimension is a place we unfortunately don't know that much about, and the stuff we do know is pretty limited. For instance, the Jeweled Scepter that Blaze guards apparently contains more power than the Chaos and Soul Emeralds, but we've seen so little of it we don't know what it's fully capable of. We do know a bit about Blaze though, both her strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, Blaze is more emotionally stable and works better with a team nowadays, but she can fall back into old habits when no one's around to offer a second opinion.
She can't cook.
Still a far cry from how she used to act, or in the Archie comics.
You know, that's funny, because can't she just, like, cook the food?
Princess, who's spitting your morning tea?
Also,
knows?
like the other super forms in the series, the God-slaying, dimension-shattering, burning blaze transformation does have a time limit and isn't truly invincible. Hit her really, really hard and you can stun her or knock her back. Though one of her biggest weaknesses is a rather odd one. She has a fear of heights.
Wait, seriously? But she's fighting in space. That's like a bajillion feet in the air. How could you be afraid?
Is it just me, or do, like,
Well, it likely
the characters
took a
that
lot of
always,
mental
like,
discipline
jump
to
high or do
overcome,
anything like
because
that?
As long as she focuses
Why are they
on
always afraid of
ignoring
heights?
how high she is, her acrophobia isn't triggered.
So wait, she runs on a souped-up version of Don't Look Down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, so it's like Sonic and his hatred of water. I know she's supposed to be the alternate universe Sonic, but the only thing she seems to have in common with him are that they're both brave, confident, speedy heroes. They're so different, yet weirdly similar.
Well, it's more than just that. Everything about Blaze and Sonic make them perfect foils. The Soul and Chaos Emeralds that they're respectively connected to are described like North and South poles, seemingly opposed yet essential to each other's existence. Blaze, embodying the flame, is complemented by Sonic, the embodiment of wind, whose oxygen fuels the fire. Blaze is a disciplined, solemn royal with a serious attitude, contrasting Sonic, a spontaneous, free-spirited, and fun-loving vagrant. Even their combat styles and transformations, Blaze's balletic grace versus Sonic's breakdance-like fluidity, Burning Blaze's red and yellow versus Supersonic's yellow and red. They're opposites, but not in opposition. Like yin and yang, it's
You know,
a
now I
perfect
wonder,
parallel harmony.
what would happen if Blaze was a villain?
Anti-Blaze would be kind of like
I mean, I
was
doubt she would ever, but, like,
very
what if?
reckless and bold and in your face.
So almost like Sonic, but cranked up to 11.
Wow, they really put a lot of thought into this. Blaze tries to give off that air of the stoic, duty-bound royal, but deep down, she's just a burned soul who wants to give this whole friendship thing a genuine shot. As long as she lives, Blaze will protect the Emeralds, her dimension, and her new friends at any cost, even her own life.
Okay, that is interesting.
And that's
Okay,
it for
I
the
don't
evidence.
know.
Before we get started, what do the fans think about this matchup?
I mean,
according to their
they're both
votes,
very strong.
it appears the people believe Starfire is going to handily win this.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see what the fighters have to say about it.
It's time for a legally distinct battle to the death. I'm working on it.
You know what? I feel like Starfire is gonna win, but if what is it called? How did I forget? Super Blaze? Burning Blaze? Blaze? I'm so dumb. Either way, if it's close to Supersonic, I feel like it's probably gonna win.
Try retracing your steps.
But we'll see.
Nightwing out.
Okay, so far the animation's clean.
Finally, now I can leave this strange dimension.
I have found you, thief of the red jewel. Return what you have stolen, or...
My goodness.
The greatest of friends. We shall celebrate Blowdog together, and I will pour the mustard with...
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit too friendly.
Don't you dare touch me again.
Okay, we don't have to be friends, but you must hand over that jewel.
I am the guardian of these emeralds, and I will not let you take them.
Ooh! I'm not gonna lie, the echo made that sound cooler. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna be surprised if this city does not love this. Okay, the music? It's going crazy! Oh man, looks like a Cheeto! Sorry, Dorito. Well then. Okay, that is cool! Funny enough, I've only played one game with those little dudes.
Oh no, too high, too high!
Oh my goodness. No, why are you afraid of heights? Out of all things, why did it have to be that one?
But I am stronger than I look.
Oh, here we go! Oh my goodness, why is the music so crazy? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this was like really good. Now it's just going crazy. I can't even speak right. That's how good it is. I can't even speak. No, that is actually cool. I must be hungry. For some reason, these things are making me think of cookies. Why am I always... What the heck? She turned to Saturn. Okay. I am impressed. I did not think it was going to be so good. I was about to say, is she going for the sun?
You can't escape me!
You cannot lie. That looks like a Galley gun. You cannot lie. Too much Dragon Ball, man. Too much Dragon Ball. Oh my goodness. The power of friendship.
Starfire? Starfire, can you hear me? Corey!
Oh, what is happening there? Oh, the Blue Lantern thing. Yeah, that's cool. They're actually using it. What the heck? Oh. Well, that's a little bit gruesome, isn't it? Is it over?
Giving up already?
Oh my goodness.
Come on, Blaze. I thought you were
Of course. Can the power of friendship be the power of friendship? This is gonna end in a tie, isn't it? Just watch, it's gonna end in a tie. But who knows? Whoa! That was clean! Okay, now we're back. What the heck? Okay, so I'm going to assume they like shattered the world somehow. Is this going to be it? Oh my goodness.
Wait, that energy. Maybe I
Oh. Wait, she could have done that the whole time? She just like casually picked her up. Oh wait, is it too much? Wait. So she's basically exploding, right? So does that mean Blaze is gonna win?
How could she have absorbed the Soul Emerald's power? It's impossible unless she's like me. Which means I can stop this!
I forgot, right? She can absorb things. Wait. I think Blaze is going to win. Oh my goodness, they went crazy with the voice acting.
Hope. I have hope there is another time and place where we are friends.
Aw.
Strangely, I hope so too.
Okay, that's cute. Wholesome ending. And there you go, Blaze
This
wins!
is why you shouldn't try to hug cats, but wow, that fight was nuts. Are both of them actually capable of all that?
Well, yes. Well, Blaze had more advantages in the
Yeah,
fight
this feels like one of
overall,
those fights
these
that,
two
like,
were
if they actually
equal in
did
a
meet,
surprising
like, if there
amount
was a
of
collab,
ways.
they
Their
would probably be
skills and
friends.
power sets bounce so well off each other that this was honestly pretty tricky to figure out. So let's go through
Wait
the
a minute,
categories
DC
one
and
by one.
Sonic are
Probably
having a
fair in the
collab, right?
speed department.
Wait a minute, this
Both
could happen.
combatants hail from universes known for
Wait
their
a minute.
insane speed feats, but Starfire
Who knows?
consistently struggles
Maybe
to
they'll
keep
think
up
about
with
it.
higher tier DC fighters. Even if we highball her interstellar travel feats, she can't keep up with Blaze's teleportation, outspeeding Knuckles, or moving in spaces unbound by time. In fact, Starfire's best showing of speed comes from Teen Titans Go.
We're not kidding. Apparently, this Starfire did jumping jacks so fast that she nearly disrupted the space-time continuum. However, she wasn't fully in control.
Teen
And was
Titans
able
Go is
to hear
crazy.
Robin telling her to stop, which means she wasn't fully out of sync with the normal flow of time.
She went back to
The
Egypt?
fairest interpretation is that she approached immeasurable
Maybe I
speed
should
but
watch the
didn't
show
quite
again.
reach it.
Even if
I
she
don't know if I
did,
can.
Blaze has multiple feats of directly achieving
Who
immeasurable
knows though, I might
speed
come out
on
as a
her
different
own
person.
and scaling to it via Sonic. Even with the small boost from the Blue Lantern ring, Starfire can't reliably compete with Burning Blaze.
Sure, Starfire's managed to hit one or two DC characters who could supposedly achieve immeasurable speed, but they clearly weren't going their fastest during these incidents. Admittedly, comparing any two fighters' immeasurable speed feats does get into weird and cerebral territory. While our combatants are in the same ballpark, Blaze just has more consistently high showings, and she doesn't need a multi-week nap after going that fast. Point for Blaze.
Both Blaze and Starfire have surprising similarities when it comes to battle instincts and strategic thinking. They often defer to their teammates for plans, but both have shown
You
they
know,
can
otherwise in
cleverly
the
think
newest,
around a problem
generation
when
game,
needed. Both also
what
have
was the last game
tempers
that Blaze
can
was
create
in?
openings for their opponents.
Wait.
But that's where the similarities end, and
Am
Starfire
I-
demonstrates her clear advantage.
Am I thinking wrong?
Blaze has taken
Blaze was
steps
in
to
Sonic
mitigate
Frontiers,
her
right?
acrophobia. If she's
I
caught
think she was
off
in
guard,
Sonic
her
Frontiers.
concentration can waver and cause her to get blindsided more easily. Also, Blaze's techniques and fighting
Was
style
she?
are extremely telegraphed and showy,
I know
making them
Silver
quite
was.
predictable compared to Starfire. While Blaze has trained for years to be the Soul Emerald's guardian, that was mostly done on her own. Corey has formal combat training with the Okarans, on top of years scrimmaging with a team to prepare for anything related to battle. Point for Starfire.
Experience isn't as cut and dry as you might think. Starfire has many more examples of fighting dozens of diverse, multiversal level enemies, whereas with Blaze,
I
you
still
can
can't
count
believe she
those
actually fought
those on
Superman.
one hand. That we've seen anyway. However, when it comes to comparing their win-loss records, Corey comes up a bit short.
But hold on, there's nuance to this. Yes, Starfire loses all the time, and that's really annoying from a narrative standpoint, and from a fan standpoint. But look at the people she loses to.
Go away, Ad, I'm trying to listen.
Orion, Mongol, and Wonder Woman. She got her teeth kicked in, sure, but the fact that she fought them and didn't die should not be discounted.
Yeah, to say that Blaze is more experienced based on that would just be disingenuous. Plus, Corey has fought plenty of foes like Blaze. Vice versa, not so much, but she still faced a pretty significant number of foes. Tough call, but Starfire gets a slight edge here.
In fact, Starfire had a lot of natural counters to Blaze's extra arsenal. Her powerful mental resistance could resist the confusion and stun items, and even though the Indigo Wisp could easily nullify her Starbolts, Corey's insane durability would allow her to resist being turned into mulch.
While the Blue Lantern Ring could potentially heal Starfire or supercharge her regular powers with a surge of positive emotion.
I want to see an Orange Lantern. I know they exist, but I've yet to see one.
Severely hampered in a mono-e-mono fight like this because it requires a Green Lantern Ring in close proximity to reach its full potential.
My man looks like
Without that,
Lilo and
the
Stitch
most
character.
it's able to provide is a
No offense, by the
small
way.
power boost and simple energy constructs.
You know, you
And
know.
while Starfire's no slouch with strategy or creativity, we don't know how effective she'd actually be using those constructs without a lot of speculation. Thanks, Hal. Ultimately, the Soul Emeralds gave Blaze an edge that Starfire didn't really have an answer to except for maybe one, her absorption ability.
Starfire has managed to absorb several unusual kinds of energy, but it has its limitations. She can't absorb her own Starbolts, and despite her name and that it's literally coming off her hair, Starfire has actually never been shown to absorb fire. Yes, fire can sometimes emit ultraviolet light, but that very much depends
Yeah, that
on
is
the fuel
weird.
source. And considering that Blaze's flames are red and they shoot out of her soul, it's unlikely Starfire would be able to absorb ultraviolet energy from them, or the energy of the Soul Emeralds, which are tied to that element.
Even assuming, arguendo, that Starfire can absorb the Soul Emerald's energy, there was way too much that could go wrong from that. Star could fall unconscious from the foreignness of the energy, or explode from the sheer amount of multiversal power, or the Soul Emeralds refusing to play nice. Blaze, on the other hand, could just quickly dip into another dimension for a safe recharge. Or, since Starfire and Blaze are so similar, given that Blaze was able to seal Iblis within her based on merely connection to flames, it's almost 100% likely that Blaze would just seal Starfire away within her own soul, immediately, and anticlimactically,
Wait.
ending the fight.
Oh, it actually
She
gets
can steal
worse
her
for
soul?
Starfire. While she has strong resistance to mental manipulation, Starfire has consistently shown no resistances to spiritual or physical manipulation, including transmutation, meaning Blaze could just use ring time to turn Starfire into a ring. Yeah, I know, it's underwhelming, but
Oh,
Blaze
so
has
she...
far too many achievable ways to debilitate Starfire
Again, that's just
instantly and
terrifying.
fight,
Imagine somebody
some
touches
of
you
which
and you
she
turn into a
doesn't
coin.
need to be in burning Blaze form to accomplish.
But hold on again, there's nuance to this one too. While Blaze has these abilities, they aren't her preferred options. She usually relies on brute force, with strategic thinking as a backup plan. It might take time for her to realize that she needs her more obscure powers to pull out the win, which could favor Starfire. Except Starfire shares a similar approach. Additionally, Blaze has shown increasing willingness to adapt and use her other abilities to buy time when needed. Blaze takes a strong edge in abilities.
But assuming Blaze doesn't get any chances to instantly end the fight, can she actually overpower Starfire?
Well, let's take a look at both our combatants' most cited stalemates. While Sonic and Blaze can be comfortably put on the same level, Corey and Diana can't. Not only was Corey on the back foot with Wonder Girl's help, Diana was holding back and was about to cut loose before they were interrupted. Against a serious Wonder Woman, Starfire's gonna lose. Hard. Which is so not fair.
Starfire's
You know, it
incredible
is kind of funny.
strength
The
and
Justice League has been, like,
varies greatly
controlled,
due
like,
to a
multiple times.
multitude of factors. So her stats are
You'd think someone would have prevented it by
tricky
now.
to lock down. The time Starfire held her own against other high-powered characters in the DC universe, such as Sinestro, Firestorm, or hell, even Superman, this is often due to unusual circumstances, such as her opponents holding back immensely, or they were weakened, subdued, or distracted by other fighters. Whether on her own or on a team, she's lost a fair few times against weaker characters in her universe.
Okay, then now she has 4 eyes.
But to be fair, that's usually because Starfire holds back too, and because 50 years of writers are always on the same page. Sure, Starfire's scaling is different since most of her feats involve losing, but even downscaling from those losses still likely put her at multiversal. In fact, a relatively safe scaling chain through Connor Kent, a weakened Superboy Prime, and a weakened Anti-Monitor puts her near infinite multiverse. Close, though not quite. Can Blaze actually top that?
Turns out, she can. While we don't see much of Burning Blaze, it is shown to be directly comparable to Supersonic, which is on a ridiculous level of power. Emerald Superforms have defeated super-dimensional gods, which could erase all timelines and dimensions in the infinite sonic cosmology. Twice, or foes who could create infinite dimensions. Heck, Blaze was able to directly defeat guys who could create dimensions transcending dimensions. Twice.
Okay, let's be honest. It is
With his help,
ridiculous.
Sonic could still defeat the
Ridiculous.
being claiming
My
to
goodness.
be infinite compared
How
to all of
broken
Sonic's
some of these characters
adversaries,
are.
including Solaris and the Time Eater. Even if we don't take the end at its word, you know, it's kind of a biased source. Burning Blaze still matches the tier of infinite multiverse versus Starfire's at best almost infinite multiverse. In a cosmic sort of way, one is technically bigger than the other.
If the end wasn't just gassing itself up, then that would make a single Chaos Emerald Superform, which, again, a Soul Emerald Superform matches, at minimum, more powerful than several infinities combined. And all of this is just from the video games. If we calculated her power using feats from the Archie comics,
It would bump Blaze up in power, but it would actually be an overall downgrade. It didn't showcase anything on the level of Supersonic's reality warping feats, despite them
My goodness, that was a big beam.
being capable of the same things. Archie Blaze's fire also requires oxygen, unlike Game Blaze, whose fire can burn underwater. She also loses a lot to really weak enemies.
That said, the Jeweled Scepter got a significant power boost as it actually protected
What
her
does that do?
dimension from the Super Genesis wave, literally rewriting their infinite multiverse's reality. So there's that, I guess.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Blaze takes this one too. Maybe we're totally off our rockers and underestimating Starfire's power, especially with the Blue Lantern Ring's boost. I'm very much on that side. But even then, it wouldn't change anything because she still can't outspeed Blaze or counter all of her win conditions. We were honestly expecting the result to be the other way around, especially me, considering Corey is Flame Princess Superman and Blaze is Flame Princess Sonic.
Almost. While Blaze is on par with Sonic in their narrative, in pretty much every DC continuity, Starfire isn't on par with Superman. She says so herself. In fact, Starfire has openly admitted multiversal and/or godlike entities like Sinar, the Demiurge, and Darkseid are out of her league and should be handled by others such as Superman or the Green Lantern Corps. That's not to say she's weak, far from it. She's just a relatively small fish in a really big pond.
Starfire's feats place her near Blaze's power level at the very least, but not enough to significantly overpower her or scale that high in the DC hierarchy. Has Star fought characters on that level? Absolutely. But does she scale high enough and reliably enough to make a difference against Blaze and overcome her abilities? Almost, but no.
In the end, Blaze's multiple paths to victory and more reliable power set edged out Starfire's formidable physiology and breadth of experience.
Some stars fade, but at least Corey went out in a blaze of glory.
Oh wait, I just realized.
the winner
Yes,
is
I'm on the city
Blaze
actually
the
lived.
Cat.
But okay. Oh. They have end credits slash end scene.
You well? It is all right. You are with a friendly face.
You... What?
Ah.
Yeah, I'll go fix it.
You fell out of that rift in dimensions. Whoever your opponent was, they did not survive.
I see. The Soul Emeralds are missing again. I must find them immediately.
Oh, would you like the help in...
I don't need...
Oh, she looks so sad.
Actually, yes. I would be thankful for your aid.
Oh, that's just wholesome.
I truly hope we can be the best of friends.
How do I always attract these types?
And we don't talk about the fact that she killed a different version of her. No, imagine. You know for a fact Starfire would probably be terrified. Or maybe she wouldn't be too mad about it. I mean, who knows. But anyway. And we don't talk about the fact that she killed a different version of her. No, imagine. You know for a fact Starfire would probably be terrified. Or maybe she wouldn't be too mad about it. I mean, who knows. But anyway. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I did not expect this to go, again, this crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if somebody showed me this and did not tell me it was, you know, fan-made, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably think this is from Death Battle. Which is really good. This is like, again, Death Battle, like, level. Who knows, though? That might just be me. Wait, what? Oh, wait a minute! They have a next time thing. What the heck? Oh! Okay, I did not think this would be a matchup to ever happen. Wait a minute, that is actually cool! You know what? Why not? If you guys want to, please tell me whenever this comes out. I will probably react to it. Are you serious? I mean, I'm not wrong. If they keep making these, we might have to do a fan Death Battle tier list. But yeah, no, that's gonna take a while if that, you know, does happen. But anyway, Burning Flames. How the heck did I keep forgetting? It is such a simple name. I am so sorry. For some reason, my goldfish memory just... It comes back, it goes away. It comes back, it goes away. But, yeah. Really good, really good. The voice acting was also crazy. I'm not gonna like that ending part. I wouldn't be surprised if their vocal cords hurt after that. And let's not forget, the music. Who was in charge of the music? Like, my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have an amazing rest of your day. Goodbye.